EM abandoned daughter for a son, harassed and slandered the girl and her adoptive father for her bone marrow 16 years later for the son. This is a true story in China. When EM had her second daughter, she decided that she doesn't want her. You see, while the family was given special permission to have 2 children, as opposed to the one-child policy, they wanted a son. And this extra girl is just an inconvenience taking up the precious spot for a boy. So, they abandoned her up without hesitation. The next year, EM got pregnant with a boy who was spoiled to death in the family. The girl ended up with a man more than 300 kilometers away from her original village. He and his wife had 3 pregnancies, but all ended up as miscarriage, so they adopted the girl, but divorced soon after because of the stress that came with the adoption. For 16 years, he had been raising his adopted daughter on his own. This man is just a crab farmer and is in nowhere rich, but he loved the girl as his own daughter. They were living a quiet and happy life together, until one day EM turned up. Turns out the son got leukemia and needed bone marrow, and no one in the family had a match. So they turned to the daughter they abandoned 16 years ago, hoping that she would be a match. The father felt sorry for the 14-year-old boy. He agreed to take the girl to a hospital for a test, but he was afraid that the girl would know she was abandoned for her gender, so he made the EM promise to not tell her that she's adopted. The girl was a match and agreed to the procedure under the impression that she was donating for a stranger. The adoptive father then asked for a bond for the girl's health. In the beginning, he was misled into think that it would be as simple as donating blood. However, when the doctors told him that donating bone marrow is a risky procedure, he was worried that if there is any complication, he won't have any means to save his daughter. The money would be returned to EM if the girl remains complication-free when she's married. EM refused. Then the father said, "Don't worry about the money, but the surgery needs to be near where he is living so he can take care of his daughter and work." EM refused again, saying that it would be more expensive for them. The father hesitated and EM fucking exploded. EM, her husband and their eldest daughter marched to the girl's school right after class, stopped the car the girl was in, pulled open the door, grabbed the girl by her arm and started yelling at her that she was adopted. They are her real family, and she needs to save her younger brother. The teachers had to physically intervene to stop them from taking her away. A bystander called the police, even in the police station. EM kept pressuring the girl for her bone marrow. The girl was in shock after knowing that she was adopted in such a violent way and cried for a whole night. This put her into a lot of psychological stress. The next day, EM printed out hundreds of open letters calling both the girl and her father by name, saying that they are cold-blooded, and the girl in particular is ignorant and doesn't understand morals. She even brought up the fact that the adoptive father experienced miscarriages to insult him. She emphasized that the boy is the girl's biological brother. She bolded that, in just to put more pressure on the girl. She put this around the village the girl is living in, all the way to around the girl's school, so both of them can't even go back to their home. When she was asked about this later, she said she didn't think about what that would do to the girl. She even went to the village council and said that the girl is rightfully hers, and she will take the girl back and make her donate her bone marrows. Of course, she was told that the girl was legally adopted, so she has no rights over her, and if she does anything like that, it would be kidnapping. She started interfering with the girl on her way to and from school. A teacher had to drive the girl to and from school for her safety, and they even got assaulted by EM's relative for their trouble. The EM later went on to a television program, probably wanting to bully the girl and her father into giving up her body rights. She got ripped apart on live TV. Later, they found another match on the donor database, so the boy is fine. The thing is, if she had been less entitled and cruel to the girl, she would have already donated her blood marrow. She could have doomed her son to death because of this. Story 2. Entitled parents move my stuff at beach. Got ticketed for theft. Hi all. Story that happened to me yesterday. I am on vacation at a touristy beach spot. Went out mid-morning to the beach before the crowds and set up my towel, umbrella, chair, cooler, etc. Around 11 a.m., while laying on my towel, tanning with headphones in, I get a tap on my shoulder. Open my eyes to a middle-aged woman standing over me and her family and young kids starting to set up multiple umbrellas, chairs, toys about 10 behind me. When I took my headphones out, the woman proceeds to tell me that my bathing suit is inappropriate to be around her children, and so I will need to move. Note, bathing suit is a cheeky bikini bottom, but not a thong. I tell her I was there first. They can find somewhere else to set up if it offends her. She proceeds to say there's no other close spots to the water. I tell her I'm not moving and put headphones back in. About an hour later, I decide to hop in the water for a dip to cool off. While in the water, I look at the shoreline, and the woman has packed up my stuff with her husband and is carrying it away from the area. I hop out of the water and get a lifeguard to call beach security, while I watch them walking my stuff up the beach to relocate it. Beach security and myself approach them. They try to play dumb and say it's their stuff, so they're asked to open the wallet to show ID. Surprise, it's my ID. Cops are then called, and I chose to press charges for theft. And I gore my spot back since the family was escorted us kicked off the beach. Story 3. EM pulls a taser on me after I don't give her and her kid a refund. So this is my first post here. I work at my local supermarket. Obviously, we have all sorts of idiots and entitled buffoons come in, but this one clearly takes the cake. So this mother came up to my checkout lane and started putting stuff on the belt. Apparently, she decided to give her kid the box of Oreos she was buying, and he elected to tear through that shit like there was no tomorrow. So she pulls it away from him. Situation ensues. EM, me, you know the drill. EM, Tony, put those down. She turns to me now with a half-eaten box. EM, oh, I'm sorry, could I get a refund for these? Me, ma'am, you haven't bought those yet. EM, yes, I have, and I can't use them now. Can you give me a refund? Me, ma'am, you haven't bought them, now you have to. That'll be $5. Roughly. EM, no, I bought these, and now I want my money back. Now, I don't know if this was some god-awful scheme or if she was actually this stupid, but either way. Me, ma'am, I cannot give you a refund on a product you haven't bought. EM, you'll give me a goddamn refund. At this point, she pulls out a taser and starts waving it in my direction. I hit the button to trigger the silent alarm. The cops are now on the way, EM. Give me my goddamn refund, you idiot. Me, look, ma'am, I can go get the manager. Maybe he can help EM. Fine, go get the fucking manager. So I go back and get him, and he goes out and talks to her. I didn't hear what they said because I cowered in the office for fear of being tased. But the cops showed up after about 4 minutes and arrested her. So it was a hell of a Friday.